When you find a real estate platform that aligns everyone in the entire company financially by making us real estate agents owners, so when the average agent wins, everyone wins, that's the secret to success. And when you surround yourself with like-minded entrepreneurial people who absolutely love what they do, they love serving people, they love God and life, and you put yourself in an environment of high energy, high producing, positive people every day, you can't help but succeed in business and life. We are changing the real estate industry and changing real estate agents' lives. Welcome to the Financial Freedom Forever Podcast. Hello, welcome everyone to the Financial Freedom Forever Podcast. I'm excited today to be having a interview with my partner, Mr. Phil Gadd from Fernie, British Columbia, Canada. How you doing today, Phil?
Yeah, I'm doing really well, Andre. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I know you have a great story to tell our listeners. Been in real estate only about 4 years, but since moving over to EXP, you've grown your business, your business 84%, right? In your average in your volume, and 77% in your GCI, and basically tripled your numbers. So we're really excited to kind of hear about how you did that. But first, tell us a little bit more about yourself and a little bit of your background and how you got into real estate, and then we'll start there.
Yeah, cool. So as you can tell, I'm probably I don't sound native Canadian. That's because I'm originally from the UK. We emigrated to Canada in 2009 with two very small children and my wife, and we started a bakery business. Lots of people ask me, why did you do that? Because that wasn't my background. I was in the film industry in the UK, and my wife worked in museums in London. So it was very different to what we were doing. But the reason why we did that, actually, people think it was a bit of a random choice, but we did actually. I actually created 4 or 5 business plans, because where we moved to, Fernie, is a small Canadian town in the Rockies, in the Canadian Rockies, and it's a recreational place. In the winter, there's got a great ski hill, and in the summer, it's a mountain bike mecca for people. So, we started the bakery. And it did really well, and we grew it, and we grew it too much. It was doing too well, and we had a bit of a crisis, because we were making a lot of money, but we just weren't making very good profit. And that's actually when I got introduced to my first business coach, who basically saved my life. Well, not my life, but he saved the business. We went on, and it grew, and but I don't know. I suppose once I got the company to a point where it was kind of running without me, I was like, well, okay, this is cool. What else can I do? I'd always been interested in real estate. I bought my first house in London, but 23 years ago, and did well out of that. And the building that our restaurant is in now, we bought and developed. And so, I had an interest in it, and I knew, like growing the restaurant business, especially the bakery business, I knew I had a good handle on sales. I enjoyed sales. So yeah, I did my exam took my exam in 2018, passed in the summer, and started in October. I joined Royal LePage first of all. Had a great mentor there. That was great. Learned a lot from a very experienced lady. She helped me through my first few months. But I had always, when I was doing my exam, I had discovered through a podcast EXP, and I was really curious. So I looked into it, and it was just like ticked all the boxes for me. Before I'd even got my license, I was like, this is the brokerage I want to join.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I got a guest pass. I can't even remember. Some American guy got me in like summer of 18 when I was still doing all my exams. So I went into the world, and I was like, oh my God, this is really cool. And saw all that, but then started talking to the Canadian people, and EXP wasn't even on our board at that time, so I couldn't actually join EXP when I got my license. So it took a little while. Coming towards the end of my first year, an agent in town who's my sponsor, Mr. Todd Fife, who'd run an independent for a number of years, so a very experienced agent in our market. I heard that he was looking to move over, so I arranged a meeting with him. He confirmed that was true, and it was great. It was a springboard for me to join EXP. So I came over in the January 2020, 2 months before the world was brought down by COVID. And that was an interesting year. I'd come off my first year. I did 15 transactions in my first year, which I thought was great. Yeah, and I got a sales award. Actually, it's behind me, actually.
Here you go. Yeah, so that was your first sales award from Royal LePage.
Yeah.
Doing your first, congratulations. Yeah. You doubled me. I only did 7 transactions my first year, so you're twice the amount. So congratulations.
Yeah. It's kind of, it was good. It felt good. I'd done a lot of work in, just really, like they say, as soon as you become an agent, call your sphere. I did some door knocking, cold calling. I did everything. Just to, I sent letters out, farming neighborhoods. I did everything that they tell you to do.
Right.
I probably tried it, and it worked. And then COVID hit, so that was a bit of a weird year. But I ended up doing slightly less transactions because essentially, like in our market, we didn't really get going until the summer of that year. And then I think I ended up doing 10 or 12, can't remember. But the most important thing was I'd really increased my average GCI. So my first year, it was relatively low. But I think in my first year, I capped. So, and essentially I only was working for like 3 months of that year, really, I think.
Wow.
So then my second year with EXP, 2021, so last year, I did 30 transactions.
Wow. So you went from 10 to 30 transactions, so tripled basically once you got going. That's awesome.
Yeah. And it was just persistency as well. Like I remember coming into the fall of 2020 and, things had gone a little bit quiet. So I just got on the phones and, everything that came in, I was just calling, even if I didn't have names, leads, anything. And that attributed to one of my biggest sales. It was, I think it was in October. It didn't have a name. I called the number. It was a lady looking to sell lakeside property. We listed for 2.2 million, sold for 1.9 in like less than 2 months. And then that was kind of opened the floodgates, really. I sold another 3 lakeside properties in that winter. And it's unheard of, really. People were like, why are you selling lake properties in the winter? And I thought, I don't know. People just want to buy them. That was a great year. It kicked off amazing. And then so 2021 just, I'm sure everyone had a great year in 2021. It was a pretty crazy year. And, but this year's it's good. It's consistent. I'm looking to do probably, looking to go for Icon this year. I'm halfway kind of through my year, my EXP sort of calendar year, and I'm on track. So it's good. I'm just finding a good pace. I live in a part of the world where it is a bit relaxed, but it's a good balance. It's a great balance.
Yeah, I want to just have a shout out to Gina and to Billy. We got Vinny on as well. And if you guys have any questions for Phil, please put them in the chat box there and definitely share this, send them some love. When you want to get this out to our social media networks for sure. Thanks for joining us. Oh, Rick just joined us as well. So thanks for jumping on, guys. So Phil, so it sounds like, so that's pretty cool. Really only 4 years in the business, the last couple, has you just tripled your transactions from to about 10 to 30. At the same time, running your family, or you're running a restaurant business, so you have multiple things going on. Yeah. Tell us, what was the biggest factor? I mean, you said that you saw when you hadn't even got your license yet, and you were searching, figuring out where you should go. And you heard about EXP, and it looked like a great fit because it was like the new Amazon of real estate, right? With being cloud-based and everything. You couldn't join. So you joined, another company and got your feet wet and got started and learned a lot, I'm sure. But what was the top two things that really intrigued you about EXP? And what were the top things that surprised you the most after you got over here that you weren't expecting?
Right. Good question. First of all, I think it was like, when I looked at it, I was like, it was a really good fit for me, I thought, just my personality and everything like that. But then when I really started looking into it, I was like, well, hang on a minute. You can sell real estate. You can buy shares at a discounted price. And so you become like part owner in the company. And, they pay you for telling other people about joining or attracting other agents to come and join you. So I'm like, well, that's like a multiple stream business, multiple income stream business. Sorry. So yeah, that was like, when I really looked at it, I was like, okay, well, that makes sense. And then when I joined, it blew me away about how collaborative and like willing other agents were to give me information to succeed. It's just like, I couldn't believe it. Like, it was like, well, hang on a minute. Like, in my last place, they like slammed the door in my face if I tried to ask, a question about, how to do something, or, everything was like, covering it up and not letting you see it. When I came to EXP, it was like, everyone's like bending over backwards to kind of, help you and show you. I remember you called me on, I think, my first or second day, just to welcome me to the company. And I was like, okay, well, that's pretty cool. No one did that at Royal LePage. And just throughout, like, even now, like, I've just picked up some tips off this training I just sat in the world just the other week. And I'm getting leads from it through KV Core. And it's just straightforward stuff. It's not simple. And the guy, I can't even remember his name. I should do, really. That's bad. But it was just how to, how to post some stuff on Facebook and use KV Core. So when people click on it, they give you their information, and it works. So I've got an open house coming up this weekend. I posted the open house into a local community Facebook page, and we got 10 leads from it, 10 real people with email addresses who are now going to be coming to our open house. So
that's awesome.
And now they're in my KV Core, and now I can, retarget them. I can reach out, it's just, and that was just free training. All I had to do was show up to the training, and it was great. So, stuff like that. It's just, and then, events that they put on, we both went to Vegas last year. I'm going to book my ticket today for October. They're just world class. I mean, I used to go to events. I used to go to trade shows in Vegas in the film industry. And to be honest, like last year, blew me away. What they did for the agents, what they put on for the agents. And I can't wait to be back there again in October.
Yeah, that was the EXP Con, the conference. I've been to a lot of conferences in my 30 plus years of being real estate, and that was off the chain. I mean, it was pretty unbelievable, right? They rented the top of that building that overlooked the whole city. And it had about three pools, an open bar, and live music. It was pretty crazy. In Orlando, we got back from the summit, the summit in Orlando, and they rented out a good portion of Universal Studios just for us. So it was like we saw all the other people leaving in the other section, and it was like just us EXP people all being able to have free food and drinks and just like it was wide open, but it was just for us. That was pretty cool. So yeah, and
awesome.
so it was a lot of fun. But I think some of the biggest things that our takeaways is the collaboration and the people that you're meeting at those events, and then coming back, even if they're not in our personal network, because they're in company, because we're all owners in the company. Like I said, they're always willing to share, and that really blew me away as well. So I definitely agree with you there. So what could you, if you could go back in time and tell yourself one thing as a new real estate agent, what would that be?
Okay. Well, first of all, if I could go back in time, I would have been wherever Glenn Stanford was in 2009 when he started EXP, and I would have been one of the first agents at EXP. But if I'm telling myself not to worry so much, I remember stressing out quite a lot. And even like, I didn't get my first transaction under my belt until probably June of, so it went almost 6 months, and I remember just, getting quite stressed that it was never going to happen. But if I could tell myself, just be patient. Just if you do the actions that you need to do, if you do the work that you need to do in this industry, if you just do the work, if you're persistent and consistent with it, the results will come. So yeah,
that's a great answer. If you show up, you're going to go up. Congratulations. I mean, like you said, there's 50 to 60 hours worth of training, free training in EXP world on a weekly basis. And you can be busy and not get plugged in, but you're probably adding it to your schedule and trying to get in there at least once or twice a week to get to some of the free training. And you implemented, that's the other thing. You can learn all you want, but you got to implement some of these things that you learn. And you did that and got 10 leads. That's the way you do it. The other thing I heard from you earlier was the consistency. You being consistent, making the phone calls, and heck, you were calling, that $1.9 million property. You said didn't even have a name, it was just a phone number, but you picked up the phone and you called and you used your real estate, sales and skills to be able to get that appointment and had one of your biggest sales. So that's a big deal.
Yeah, I think I see that I see that a lot with new agents coming in. They just, in my opinion, and a large percentage of them just, they want you to tell you what the magic bullet is. And there's no real magic bullet in this industry. Well, there's no real magic bullet in any industry. It's just, one thing I've learned after many years on this planet is if you can't work hard at something, it just won't happen for you. And I just feel sometimes I get asked these questions from younger agents, what should I be doing? Well, you need to be picking up the phone, do all the social media. That's lovely. That's kind of like the icing on the cake. That kind of helps, build your brand. But you need to talk to people. You need to get people on the phone. You need to talk to people in the street. You need to do whatever to build relationships with people. And that's hard sometimes because a lot of people tell you no thanks, or but so was it someone said to me once, every no is the next step towards the next yes.
That's right.
It's you just perseverance.
Yeah, you got to have thick skin in the sales industry, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Even though we're helping a lot of people, some people don't think they need the help or want the help, but at some point they will. And if you do a good job, they're going to be referring you, and your business will continue to grow. Yeah. So go ahead.
No. So I think that's right. That's huge at the end, like referrals. If you do a good job, then that's how your business really 10x's in this industry. It's through people telling other people how good you are.
Yeah. So what other things that come to mind that helped you, triple your business there in the last year or so with the company? Anything else really stand out that we can help, relatively new agents out there as well on what you did to grow your business?
I think, surround yourself by really good people.
Mhm.
One of the reasons why, it lucked out actually. Like I said, I would have gone to EXP anyway, but it just so happened Todd Fife, an agent in our market who's a very experienced agent, and in fact, I wanted to, it couldn't have worked out better because I went on Todd's team for a year and learned a tremendous amount, and that is probably one of the biggest factors why I'm now confident in growing my business. And he really helped take me to that next level. Yeah,
that's fantastic. Well, I really enjoyed talking to you today, Phil. Just a couple other quick questions to share with our members, our listeners. What how's the you mentioned collaboration. How's the collaboration different with EXP than any other than the other company that you're at, and why do you think that is?
For example, we're chatting. I'm in Canada. You're in the US. I was, James Massey, our partner, also invited me on to his podcast a few weeks ago. And, I would never had thought in a million years that I'd be sitting in my office in Fernie chatting to other agents in the US. Not at Royal LePage. That would never have seemed possible. It's just having access to agents across the world now. EXP is a global company,
Right.
And it just blows my mind that the connections that if you want to go out there and make the connections, it's how big do you want your business to be, pretty much, at EXP, and how many people do you want to go out and meet? That's the beauty of EXP. It's just there's no limit to your if you want to go and do it. EXP, I'm sure, is the place where it can happen, because there's just so many good people that you can in our workplace, you could ping a message to someone, anyone, and even Glenn sometimes, he might not get back to you, but his assistant might.
He does. He actually does. Even Jason Gesson, the CEO, I've messaged him through Workplace several times, and he's normally pretty quick to respond back. Yeah. And he's the CEO of the company.
There you go.
Right. I had a question for somebody had a question for me that I couldn't answer on all the stocks, so I got onto Workplace. And anyone's listening and not sure what that is, it's like Facebook, but for work. Yeah. And our 80, what are we at, 4,000 agents now. Yeah. And our 2,500 employees are all in there. Yeah. And I just work chatted a text message basically to the basically the CFO, Jeff Whiteside, who he's the guy up on stage at the events telling everybody, the numbers, and he's the financial guy. So I messaged him asking a stock question that I couldn't answer. And I expected him to tell me who I could get on the phone to get that question answered, and do a Zoom with my friend. And he's like, "Oh, I can answer that for you. I'm available tomorrow at this time, or, the next day at this time." And I was on the Zoom with him a few days later for 30 some minutes. I was probably closer to 40, answering all the financial questions with my friend. And he's, the CFO basically of the company. So it's pretty crazy that we can get to those high level people, and they treat us just like we're business owners, and we really are. We're actually business owners with them, and that's why it's such a big difference. I did want to ask you, Phil, before you go, what's your goal for the rest of this year and maybe the next 3 to 5 years? Where do you see your real estate business, and what are you most excited about?
Well, I'm excited to reach Icon. I missed it by, I think, about one transaction last year. So, but I still did very good numbers. So my income was great. So, and I got all the stock. That's right. So yeah, I'd like to get Icon. I'd like to do that consistently. I'm growing my team. I've got 3 new members just recently. So I build a team in the restaurant. I'm really looking forward to building a team in real estate and just working with people that I really want to, like-minded people like yourself, like, many of our partners in Honey Badgers. And life's good. I live in a great place. I've got a very, I've got a great family. It's just continuing that really. But EXP's given me the opportunity to earn good income, but work less and just enjoy life really.
And for people listening that's not sure what Icon is, that's the award that's behind you. That's probably similar. You got an award for doing some great production. Yeah. And at EXP, once you cap and you go to 100%, and then you sell another 20 properties, buy, sell, or lease another 20 properties over your cap. So in my market, that might be 30 properties. In other markets, it might be 22 or 3, depending on the average sale price. You get your $16,000 that you paid in on our split all back in company stock. So man, I'm sorry you missed it by one transaction, but you'll get it next year. And what is that going to mean to you when you get your entire $16,000 back in stock from a part of a company that you own?
Well, it's almost like they're paying you to be at EXP. Like it's all nice and it's all well and good getting a plaque on the wall, but that doesn't give me 16 grand back in my pocket. It means a lot. I mean, the way I look at my stock awards, they're just sitting in an account for my retirement. So, and it's great now because EXP stock, it's not as high as it was, but so everything you get now, it's definitely going to go up in the future. We're probably in for a bit of a rough ride with the economy in the next sort of, 1 or 2 years, but it's a long term. You look you look at the long term growth of any stock, and it's just always up. So that's my retirement. That's just locked in, and it's awesome.
It's just time and consistency. Right? Just like anything else. You get into real estate when you're 20 years old, like I did, and you put some money away. I don't know much about stocks. I give money to my stock person, and he buys stocks, and it's done well over the years. But I looked at the numbers just a few weeks back, and that's passive income, right? And that's money coming in because of what you've built. And in the first just couple of years. I've been 3 years, a little over 3 years now at EXP. I have more than 5 times that in resident and passive income, because of this network, and it's life changing, right? Yeah. So imagine an agent coming into the business, at 20, 30 years old now, and because we're such an agent centric company, and they have multiple ways to earn stock and revenue share and all these other things over and above just your commissions. And it's things that you're doing anyway, right? I mean, you're going to be doing it anyway. Yeah. Telling a friend, man, I love it over here. Especially when they ask you why'd you make the move? And you share with them, hey, I did the math and it just made, business sense, or whatever your story is. And you want to work with your friends, and that's going to happen anyway. Yeah. And at most companies, you'll get a $10, Starbucks card and say, thanks. And that agent's with the company for 10, 20, 30 years, maybe selling 10, 20, 30, 100 homes a year. And you got a Starbucks card, but our company, you get revenue share paid to you on an ongoing basis, not from the agent, but from the company.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's a cool thing. I mean, I know you're killing it, and congratulations to you. Your organization's awesome. But I've started and I've got 3 agents. But last month I had enough money from RevShare to pay my mortgage. So it's like, wow. I mean, because my agents are selling houses. So, and I've just, that's just the beginning.
Congratulations. That says a lot. So you have 3 agents on your team that you've attracted that you just shared with about the opportunity with EXP. Yeah. And because, of course, we're a company that's selling a lot of houses, these agents are active selling houses, you had enough money from your revenue share to pay your mortgage. Yeah. That's life-changing, Phil. How many people that are listening right now that might be struggling, especially with the market correction coming and and what's going to be happening in the real estate industry over the next several years. The agents, some agents are going to be struggling. What would an extra $500, $1,000, $1,500 a month do for agents? It's going to save marriages. It's going to save a lot of things, because when you're earning enough income to take care of you and your family, the stress just goes down. And having fun working with people like yourself, Phil, and being able to collaborate and meet you at the live events, and help you grow your business when you need something. Like you said, after this call, we're going to be talking about how we can help you get a virtual assistant to help you bring your business to the next level. It warms my heart to be able to help people like yourself on the other side of the country, in another country actually, but we all get to grow the company together because we're owners. So I'm stoked that you're having a great year. You've tripled your business. I'm sure you'll hit Icon next year. And my last question I always kind of leave with is, if you're a movie watcher, what's your favorite all-time movie you like to watch? Or if you're a reader, what's your favorite book that you like to recommend to our listeners?
Okay, I like both. Film would be too hard because I'm a huge. But books, I've read a lot of stuff recently, but one of the books I really enjoyed was is it Mike Horowitz, The Hard Thing About Hard Things.
The Hard Thing About Hard Things. Okay.
Yeah, it's I actually a partner of ours, John Kitchens. I got the recommendation from him on one of his podcasts.
Okay.
It's a great book. It's about I think his name's Mike Horowitz. I could be wrong on his first name, but he was the CEO of a .com company, like the .com boom, and how he took a company from a startup, basically almost went bust like 5 times or so, and then Hewlett Packard bought it for 1.65 billion. It's a really good story. Yeah, it's a really it's a good book.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
Any last minute things that you want to share with our listeners, as far as, hey, if there's someone listening today that maybe you've talked to in the past, maybe you haven't talked to, but you want to make sure that they get something, get the most value out of our call today, what would you want to say to that person listening?
Right. If you're thinking of joining EXP and you're on the fence, then reach out to whoever you're talking to about it and join immediately, because like everyone that you ask, they always say, I wish I'd joined EXP earlier. So yeah, reach out to me, Andre. If you're talking to other people, just make sure you really have a look at this opportunity, because it's it's like Jake Kinder says, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah,
it's great. I love it here. It's surrounded by awesome people, having a time of my life.
If you could do finally, the last question, if you could do one thing differently of joining EXP, what would you do differently?
I'd have joined earlier. I'd have got my license like in my 20s, and I'd have got into real estate a lot younger. Yeah. You
would have had to get out of BC because we weren't there yet, but maybe you had to move to be able to do that. But that's phenomenal. Hey, well, if you're in British Columbia, it doesn't matter where you are around the country. Hey, Phil's in the United Kingdom. We're actually, EXP's open in the UK. So it doesn't matter where you're located. We're in 22 different states. You can reach out to Phil on his phone number there that we have on the screen. You can reach out to me, ask all your questions, and definitely do your due diligence, do the math, see if it's a good fit for you. And I know one thing: if you're entrepreneurial minded, your mindset is, no matter what level that you're at, there's another level. You always want to continue to grow, and if you're not growing, you're feeling like you're dying. And even if you're comfortable where you are, but you want to continue going to the next step, that's the kind of real estate agents and broker owners and people that are a really good fit with us at EXP. So definitely reach out to Phil and myself, and I'll looking forward to seeing everyone next week on the Financial Freedom Forever podcast. Again, share this on Facebook, and thanks everyone for jumping on today. Thanks for your time today, Phil, and we'll talk to you real soon.